Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different for me. I've never done a video like this, and it is a drugstore battle. I tried to make that really dramatic, but I don't think I was very successful. So yeah, today's video I am going to compare two drugstore concealers. There have been so many concealer launches lately, like it's been insane. It just feels like all drugstore, even high-end brands are launching new complexion products. 2019 is the year of complexion already and it's only February. And in particular at the drugstore there have been so many concealers that have been really hyped up. So today I'm going to compare two of them. Today's battle is going to be between the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer and the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. Both of these concealers claim to have similar finishes and effects, so I figured it would be a fair comparison. It's not like I'm comparing a dewy sheer concealer to a full coverage matte, you know what I'm saying? They're supposed to do similar things, so I thought it would be fun to compare the two and see which one I like better. Also, just a quick side note, it is incredibly, and I mean incredibly, windy right now in the city that I'm living in. So if you hear like a lot of background noise, I really apologize, but I wanted to get this video up. I wasn't gonna film it because the wind is so incredibly loud. Like I think the wind is going like 110 kilometers per hour, which if you're American is like 65 miles per hour. Like it is insane and it's really loud, but I figured I kind of wanted to film anyways and I wouldn't be able to film tomorrow or the next day, so I didn't want to miss a week's upload completely just because of the wind. And I'm not even sure if you'll be able to hear it, so if you do, I apologize. So first up, I want to talk about the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer. I have some notes on my phone about both concealers, so that's why I'll probably be looking down at it just to refer to those. And since I am a Canadian, I'm going to be comparing them relative to the Canadian market, if that makes sense. So for the NYX concealer, it is $12 Canadian for 3.5 milliliters or 0.11 fluid ounces, which is fairly affordable in comparison to some other concealers that are on the market. It's definitely on the lower end of things. It's claiming it has a full coverage matte finish that will not transfer. It comes in 24 shades, which is awesome. We need to see more shades at the drugstore, so this shade range is awesome. And one thing I did want to point out is it's readily available at most Canadian drugstores. You can get it at Shoppers Drug Mart, you can get it at Rexall, and you can find a majority of the shades in those stores. So that's great. You won't have to like order it online or anything. And I know that NYX even has some flagship stores across Canada, so that's great. I live really close to one. Now for the e.l.f. concealer, I couldn't find the Canadian price, so what I did was just converted it using the conversion rate from today. So it retails for $5 USD, which converts to $6.60 Canadian. So it's about half the price of the NYX one, and it comes with 6 mils or 0.203 fluid ounces, which is almost double the product. It has a 16-hour matte full coverage wear. It comes in 18 shades, so not quite as many shades as the NYX one. So I think e.l.f. could do better. However, e.l.f.'s previous complexion ranges have been extremely limited, so this is definitely an improvement for them. And the last thing is e.l.f. can kind of be hard to find in Canadian drugstores. They're not available in Shoppers Drug Mart. They're available at Walmart and they're available at Rexall. However, the ranges are really limited and I find that they don't really have any new launches. It's just a very standard range and there's no limited edition. I don't even know if e.l.f. does limited edition actually, but they don't have any new launches really. So this could be a difficult find in Canadian drugstores. I feel like it would be a lot easier to find the NYX one in person, because I understand if you don't want to buy a concealer online, shade matching is hard. So just a quick round up, the NYX has more shades. However, the e.l.f. concealer is more affordable and you get more product in it. So now we're going to compare how they wear and how they apply, and if you'd like to see that, then just keep watching. Okay, so let's get started testing the concealers. I've been really excited to try both, and I was going to do a review on each one individually, but I figured it would kind of be cool to kind of mash it into one video. So quick disclaimer, I didn't really get the same shade. I tried my best, but as you can see, I'm not sure if you can tell, but the NYX one is quite a bit lighter and the e.l.f. one is quite a bit more warm toned. The shades I got were, in the Can't Stop Won't Stop, I got Alabaster, and in the e.l.f. concealer, I got Medium Peach. Medium Peach probably wasn't the best choice, but the selection was really limited at the Target that I was at. All right, so I just want to kind of compare the applicators really quickly. The NYX one is kind of skinny and long. Hold on, let me do that Beauty Guru thing so you can really see it. Can you even see that? Kind of blends in with my skin color, but it's kind of long and pointed. And the e.l.f. concealer kind of has more of a jumbo wand, more similar to Tarte Shape Tape. In my personal experience, I prefer the jumbo wand. I just find that it's so much easier to apply. It picks up a lot of product, so you usually don't have to dip back in. That being said, let's get started. I'm gonna try the NYX one first, and I'm gonna put that on the right side. I guess the left for you, my right, your left. I did that in one of my videos. I kept calling it the left side when it was really the right side because I was thinking my left, and it was really embarrassing because I put it on the internet and people probably thought that I didn't know my lefts and rights. And honestly, I don't really know my lefts and rights. I have to think about it still, so judge me. So I'm gonna apply it with my Beauty Blender on both sides. So this concealer is really thick. I have a feeling that both are going to be really thick. I put a lot on. I don't usually put that much on, but I really want to test it out. And I want to be able to really tell what it's doing, so just gonna blend that out. It's easy to blend. I feel like this one will dry quickly. I know I've heard a lot of people say that the e.l.f. one does as well. The coverage, it seems okay. I don't know. Let's see how it layers, because I still kind of see a shadow on my inner corner, and my dark spots aren't crazy. Like I'm not someone that has like really bad under eye circles. So I'm just gonna take a little more and just kind of concentrate it right on the inner corner there where I still see a bit of a shadow. I find that I always notice my under eye circles so much more when I'm testing concealer. I feel like I'm so much more picky. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but like still makes me feel like I'm more tired than I actually am. So I mean, it's not bad. It kind of blended away down here, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. I don't know, that was kind of weird. I tried to take it down, but I feel like now I just have like the reverse raccoon eye. So I'm gonna take a little bit down here. So because I was blending more concealer in my inner corner and it took product off down here, I'm gonna say that it's not the best at layering. That's kind of a bold statement. I'd probably have to use it a few more times to really tell, but that's kind of my first impression. And I'm going to come to the conclusion that it does dry a little quickly. It kind of did that thing where it kind of crepes up a little bit on the outer corner. Let me zoom in. Let me see if you can see that. I'm not sure if you can really tell, but it looks a little bit crepey over here, and I feel like that happened because it dried too quickly before I got to really blend it out. Not bad, not great. I wouldn't replace my Shape Tape with it, but it is $12, so. Okay, so now going on to the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I'm kind of nervous about this one because I've heard that it dries fast. So let's see if there's a difference in coverage and such. Okay, yeah, so it's definitely a different color than the NYX one. Kind of embarrassing. Again, I put a lot on because I want to be able to tell what it's doing. So again, I'm just going to put a tiny bit more on the inner corner because I still see a bit of a shadow. I don't see as much of a shadow on this side as I did this side, which leads me to believe that this one is more full coverage. And we will see how this layers. It actually kind of layered worse than the NYX one. I feel like because it dried so quickly, I kind of lifted up a little bit of product. Alright. You can definitely tell that this is not the right color. It's a little dark. So I'm going to set both of these with my Laura Mercier translucent powder. Also, I'm wearing my Beauty Blender foundation. If anyone was wondering, I tried to keep everything else in my routine exactly the same so that we can really be the judge of how this concealer plays with other products. So, but while I'm setting both of them, I noticed that neither of them creased. So like, that's awesome. I didn't feel the need to go in a second time with my Beauty Blender to kind of blend out the creases before powdering. So I'm just gonna do the rest of my face off camera and I will come back and we can discuss my first impressions. Okay, so the full face is done and I am back. And just based off of first impressions, I think I like the e.l.f. concealer better. Number one, this is not my color, for sure. It kind of got a little dark down here. You can especially tell kind of out here, but that's okay. It's all right. It's not like drastically noticeable. The reason that I think I like the e.l.f. one more is because it is more full coverage. I find it interesting that the NYX concealer I bought in such a much lighter shade than the e.l.f. one, and it just doesn't have the brightening effect. Like, of course it does look a little bit lighter because it is a lighter shade, but it doesn't look a whole lot brighter, if that makes sense. Like, my under eye circles look exactly the same, even though this one is a brighter shade. So because of that, I believe that the e.l.f. one is more pigmented, and that's what I'm looking for. It's a concealer. I'm looking for it to be extremely full coverage so that I can, one, only use a little bit under my eyes, and two, so I can spot conceal before foundation. So as of now, the e.l.f. concealer is winning just for that reason. Other than that, the finish is very similar on both sides. After I powdered, that kind of crepey thing that happened with the NYX concealer, you can't really see it anymore. So yeah, the finish is very similar on both concealers. They're both matte, they both dry down fairly quickly, they're both thick. So they are very similar in that aspect. I would just say the e.l.f. concealer is just a little bit more coverage. So I'm gonna carry on with my day. I'm not really leaving the house because it's crazy windy outside and I just don't want to. Plus I have quite a bit of studying to do, so it's not going to be a crazy busy day for me. So I'm going to keep the makeup on regardless, and I will check back in with you and we can see how the concealers are holding up. Hey guys, so I'm coming at you with a super high quality update. What a turn of events. It is now 7 p.m. so I've had the concealers on for 9 hours. And both of them claim to be long wearing, especially the e.l.f. one, 16-hour wear. And I don't even know if you'll be able to see because the iPhone quality is so garbage, but it's like cracking all under here, and it's actually wearing off really close to my lash line. The NYX one is doing it as well, but not as bad. I find the e.l.f. side actually worse. So, my final thoughts. I don't know. I would have wanted my concealer to last longer than this. My Tarte Shape Tape will last, like, I've never had it wear off on me. That's how long it lasts. I mean, considering they both wore off about the same amount, the e.l.f. one might be a tad bit worse, but like not by much. And the e.l.f. one is more affordable. You get like almost twice the product. They both crack, so the only thing that NYX has that the e.l.f. concealer doesn't is a better shade range. So even though they both cracked, they are good, especially for the price. More so for the e.l.f. one because, you know, like $5–6 compared to $12, that's quite a significant difference. So the wearing off is kind of more justifiable the cheaper the product gets. So overall, I think the winner is the e.l.f. concealer. Even though if I'm wearing something long term, I would choose neither because they wore off significantly on my lash line, and I didn't even do anything today. I just sat in my apartment and studied. Like, I hardly moved, so that's kind of not great. And if I was going out and needed to look good, I would choose Tarte Shape Tape, and I'd be willing to invest in that. But if you are on a budget, I would say go for the e.l.f. concealer if you can find your shade. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you want to see more of these like battle videos. I think it's a fun idea. There's tons of complexion products that are being launched at the drugstore right now. There are tons of drugstore products that are similar to each other or dupes of each other. So I feel like there's tons of videos that I could do with this similar theme, and it kind of gets 2 reviews in one video. I feel like it's a good idea. I don't know. And sometimes I feel like it's unfair to compare a lower end to a higher end because the higher end costs so much more and therefore it's going to cost more to make. Therefore it's going to be a bit higher quality. So sometimes it's a fair comparison, but sometimes not really. So I feel like comparing two products that are closer in price range is better. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Please leave a comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see. I know I ask for requests in every video, but it's just so much more fun to film when I know it's something that you guys want to see. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye!